Hi, Irene here. Hope you're having a great day. I have a new paper pack to share with you today. It is called Woven Textures, and it is part of the new releases that are set to be available on March 4th. And it is very similar to the Country Wood paper pack, in my opinion, just because you've got a lot of nice warm brown tones, and I think they're going to make some really great base papers. So these are the front and back, so they're two-sided. And today I think we're going to be using this one right here. Let me clear this out and let's get started. What I'm working on today is a single page layout, and it's going to be featuring this picture here of my granddaughter. It's from a family photo shoot we did about 8 years ago. She was not quite 2 yet, and though all the pictures came out really great, I just love this picture. The way she's straightening her crown, I love her curls, just, those chubby cheeks, just love it. So I was thinking I want to bring in some blues to tie in with her dress. So let me grab a couple. I'm thinking I have some papers from the Countryside, I think it's called Countryside in paper pack. And I'm hoping that some of these blues would look really, really pretty with her dress. So I'm not quite sure about this. It's kind of hard to tie into these blues. They're a little bit different than what is in this paper pack. I think that one is going to be a little bit too dark. Let me see what I can find, and I will clean this up, and I will be right back. I looked through my paper pack, and I felt that this paper from the Country Woods paper pack would go really well with some of the greenish blues in her dress. And I've always wanted to use this paper, but just hadn't had the right layout to use it. So let me pull in a couple of other papers, and let's see what we can do as far as bringing in a couple of other tones. I pulled this paper from a Little Latte. I thought that the browns in this paper went really well with the brown tones in here. This is actually a coffee-themed paper pack, and those are basically coffee stains, but I thought that that would look really good. And something I've wanted to do was do one of those really wide banners. So I'm thinking I'm going to make this paper here a banner, and then I will maybe border it with maybe some pecan pie or something. Let me cut that down, and I will be right back. So I cut down the Little Latte paper. This is 5 1/4 by 10 1/4, and I'm going to cut a banner into it. And to do that, for me, the easiest way is just to try to find center. So 2 1/2, and then another 1/8. So that is about approximately right there. Cut up as high as you'd like your banner to be, and then just cut in towards that center mark from each corner. Cut mine up just a little higher here, and then repeat on the other side, and just meet in the center here. So I'm thinking I would put this right here and this big banner here. So the banner I'm going to back in some pecan pie. So let me bring in my paper cutter, and let's cut that down. So this was 5 1/4. I want to have about a 1/4 inch border, so about 5 3/4. We can cut that down. And let's place it on there. I want to give it just in a border all the way around. So I'm going to adhere this down and then just cut in from the sides. In fact, I think I'm going to trim that down just a little bit more. It's a little bit more than I want. You're going to go down, just take off about 1/8 of an inch. let's get that matted up and give it again its border. And just trim up the sides. So, this is a really fun paper pack I have not really used too much yet, and I happen to love coffee, so I gotta dig out some coffee themed layouts. From here, all I'm going to do, I'm going to follow that line and cut in to the center, and then come from the other side. I'm going to eyeball it to be as close as I can, perfectly imperfect. And just snip off one little more piece there. Alrighty. So here's our banner. I think that's going to look really good. The green paper here, I'm going to cut down. I think I want it to be 11 by 11. So let me move this out of the way and bring my paper trimmer back in. And we're going to cut that down. And that way we'll have a nice border all the way around. And also what you're going to want to do, sorry, get my paper out of there, is once you're ready to put this down, I'm going to gut out the inside of that paper. And that way I have that paper to use for mats or for other layouts. So I'm going to cut this down each an inch on 2 of the 4 sides, and that will give me, oopsies, an 11 by an 11. So let's move this out of the way. And let's adhere this down. I think I want to go horizontal with the wood grain. No, I think I'm going to go vertical. I really think I like that better. So let's that adhere down quickly. And before we do that, I'm going to show you how I will cut out the center of that paper. Let me move this to the side, and let's get that out real quick. So all you're going to do is you're going to bring your paper over to the 1 inch mark, come up to 1 inch on your paper trimmer, go up to 11, and then you're going to just turn your paper, and then come from where you're at back down to 1. Turn your paper back to the 1 inch mark, back up to 11, and then one more time you're going to turn it and bring it back down. And that will allow us to get out the center of our paper, and then we can use it again. Snip that off for another layer. Paper's expensive. You know, save it as much as you can. So, this one more corner snipped out. What I do like to do when I do gut out my paper like this is I like to bring in a piece of inexpensive white cardstock that I can use just to give it a little bit more stability. This is just from Michael's, inexpensive, and that way I have a lot more. It's not so flimsy, especially when I'm trying to put it back into a page protector. So let's get that adhered down real quick, and then we can put the green wood paper over the top. We don't normally do family pictures, but my son was out with my daughter. They don't live local, and I don't get to see her a lot, so it was, you know, a prime time for us to be able, as a family, to go and do a family photo shoot. So it was all of us and the dogs, so it was a lot of fun. Let me bring in that green wood paper, and we're just going to set that right there in the center. Alrighty. Then on top of that, we're going to be adding that banner that we made. So that is going to go right there. And then I have the picture of my granddaughter, and I'm thinking that that would look really nice. Set up a cluster here, a little title. This one I'm going to mat that up in Pool Party, which is pretty close to that color there. Let me go cut a mat, and I will be right back. Here is the mat of the photo. It seems to be really close to the green paper there. And what I did was I might be using these kind of bubbly embellishments in my cluster. I wasn't sure, but I thought I could cut it out here. No one's going to see the back, and that way we can save a little extra paper and not waste that. Let me place that here. I think that's going to go there. But then I was thinking I want another color right here. And I have this paper pack from Nature's Sweetness that has, let me bring that in real quick. Here is the paper I'd like to use from Nature's Sweetness. It has similar tones. This is a little closer to copper clay, but I think it all goes together well. And then I was thinking about, again, matting it instead of in copper clay, to keep it a little bit more harmonious. I would use the pecan pie again, just like I did for this banner. Let me bring in my picture real quick. So I'm thinking something like this, and then a cluster around here, and again, my title right there. Let me cut down this piece of paper, and I will be right back, and we can start assembling. I cut the Nature Sweetness paper down, and I backed it on some pecan pie. I also adhered down my banner here, and I'm going to place a picture of my granddaughter here, and bring in some embellishments, and let's get started embellishing. I cut out a bunch of dies, cutouts from, this is from the Meant to Be new stamp and die set, and it's Love This Life, Cute as Can Be, Cute Sentiments, We Are Meant to Be, has these little bee builders, little faces, and then it also has all these hexagons that all nest together. They also have this other title here that is just a die cut. It says Our Hive. So I used the smallest hexagon here, and then I made some flowers, stamped them out, and then die cut them out. So let's start building our embellishments. So what I was thinking is that I want to place this in somewhat as a frame around the photo here on the side. So a little bit is sticking out. You're not going to see much of it. And then this is in Pecan Pie. And then in the Pool Party, when you cut out the dies, it cuts out a little frame at the same time. So you get two pieces at once. I'd like to stick that one right about here. And then I have a title, which is just a chipboard title. It's from my stash. It says Cute. I thought that that would go very sweet there. And then also in my little tray here, I'm going to pour them out. I have all these die cut flowers. These are the little bubbles I cut from the mat. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to use them or not, but I thought I'd bring in some gray from the Nature Sweetness, as well as some of that copper clay color. So the leaves I cut out all, I believe it's gray granite. And then I cut out all these little twigs, which are from the Changing Leaves set. And these are just in Pecan Pie, but I chose to use that little flower stamp, and I stamped out a bunch of little flowers in the three colors. So that is the copper clay. This is actually Smoky Slate, because that's the only gray I have, and then Pool Party. So let's start building our clusters. Let's see, let's bring in some of these larger flowers. And then I also, from the Meant to Be set, stamped out all these little tiny ones. There's a bunch of, it's like a 3 set of flowers, and I just did them again in the coordinating colors. So start building up a little bit of clusters here. Just do a couple flowers. I just like the way. I never thought I'd bring in this copper clay color, but when I brought in that Nature Sweetness, I thought, oh, that looks so good. I'd love to have had maybe some copper foil paper, but I do not have that in my stash, so this is what we have. One more over here. Let's bring in one more of the copper clay. So we have a few of each one here. Maybe something like that. And then, like I said, these are in gray granite. I'm just gonna tap them on. Let's see, do we want to go? I think we're gonna go over the top of that hexagon. And then these, if you don't like them attached, you can always just tear them apart and deattach them. But it's from the Changing Leaf set. It comes with a double leaf, and then I have a single leaf as well. I like the skeleton leaves because I like the way you can see through them. Gives it a little bit of airiness, a little lightness. And let's tuck in. I love these little twigs. I've been using them a lot lately in my layouts. That one's going to go that way. This is the two-tone cardstock, so that's the light side of Pecan Pie, and then this side I'm using is the darker side. And a couple more twigs. And then maybe bring in some of these cute little flowers as filler. I'm going to be popping up some of these larger flowers when I get around to when I'm adhering everything down, just to give it a little bit dimension. It's got a little hole still in it, but I'm thinking this is kind of what I'm looking for. Let's bring in a couple of these gray ones as well. Just build it up a little bit more. Got some small ones. And a pool party up here on the top. Maybe a little pool party down on the bottom. Let's see, a couple of these smaller ones as well. We're just gonna lay them down and then see where we go from there. So, alrighty, I'm going to start adhering these down, and I will be right back. Everything's been adhered down. I popped up a couple of the larger flowers on some dimensionals. I love my non-traditional flower colors. No one says that they have to be pink and purple. So I thought that came out really cute. I added a tag up here that just says happiness. And I'm just going to bring in these gems from the Iridescent Rhinestone Basic Jewels and just add some to the middle of the flowers. They come in, looks like 2 different sizes. So I'm going to use some of the larger ones and just give some bling to the flowers and to the layout. I think those would look cute. I don't think I'm going to do quite every one of them. So let's see how that looks. And then maybe a couple of, looks like there are actually 3 different sizes. You have a large, a medium, and a small. So I'm going to pop a couple of these little small ones here on the small flowers. And let's see how that looks out, just to give it just a little sparkle. You know, it's a girly layout, even though it's not girly colors. I'll just put a few more in there. So I did this layout 2 times. I like the layout, so I just thought I was going to replicate it, and I'll bring that in just a second and let you see what that looks like. So that way you can see, you know, if you find a layout you really like, and especially if you're like me and you don't scrapbook and order, no one will ever know you're duplicating a layout. It'd just be a different layout in a different album. Thinking I like that, I'm going to leave that there. Let me add one up here to the top to my little tag, so I don't have a naked hole there. That looks cute. And let me pull this out and let me bring in the other layout I have to share with you. Here is the other layout that I did using basically the same um, recipe or sketch, I guess you could say. Didn't have the extra piece go here. I did carry my title over here. This is the Bloom Impressions paper. This is a celebration item that is only available until the end of February as a rewards item. This is Blackberry Bliss, which is a coordinating color. I stamped the title in Blackberry Bliss. Then I did the 35. This was my daughter's 35th birthday lunch with. I went with my sister and celebrated my daughter. And what I did was I took the numbers and I die cut them like 3 or 4 times, and then I stack them up, and that way they have a lot more weight to them. You can see here I used again the changing leaves, but this time it was traditional with green leaves and then the brown sprigs, and then some other of the flowers that I had. Let me pull those in real quick and share those with you. So the numbers that I used actually came from Birthday Celebration. And this is a stamp and die set, but the dies have all the numbers. It has a really fun pocket, some tassels. You can build a banner. So that's where I got the numbers from. Like I said, I die cut those probably 3 or 4 times and then just stack those up. And then for these roses, I got those from the Everyday You and Me, as well as the title here that I use, Love Every Moment. And this again is a stamp and die set. And oopsies, you can see I have a few sitting in there. Just stamped out all the different roses in different colors. In this one, I used various different colors. This is Gorgeous Grape, this is Pumpkin Pie, and Petunia Pop, and both of these two I stamped off before I stamped them all the way. This is Calypso Coral, and that's Melon Mambo. And then I also use these really cute little iridescent gems. They're the Riverside Irregular Pearls, so I used those ones there because I thought it was good with the little bit of gray that was in there. And then this is the Everyday well, let me think. Hold on just a second. Let me go grab that one. That is from the Everyday Details die. So you have a bunch of circles. They all have like the perforated dots, as well as rectangles and a couple little other dies if you like to sew. It's a good one for sewing. And then a couple of the other florals I just used out of here, the textured florals, which are more of those ones right here. Well, I hope you enjoyed my layout, and so you can see that how just using 2 different types of papers, different paper packs, and just a few little tweaks, and you have 2 completely different layouts. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you will subscribe, share, and like, and comment down below. I will have all the products that I used in the description below. Hope you have a great day.